Hello everyone, my name's Riley, and today we're going to be talking about the article entitled On the Need for a New Narrative of Business by Hunter Lovins. Now, the need for a new narrative of business comes from a long history of poor business ethical practices. So in the past, businesses have been looking for short-term profits. They've been practicing very unsustainable business practices, and all these things have been really rooted into the capitalist system. Businesses are rewarded for short-term gains, and there's not that much push to get a long-term benefit. Just the same, governments and businesses need to start working together. In the past, again, government has been there to fight with businesses about who can do what and who has what kind of power. But in order to solve these bigger problems, they're going to have to start combining their resources in order to make it happen. Enter regenerative capitalism. Regenerative capitalism is a new take on capitalism that focuses on sustainable business practices and ethical economic growth. Now, the first element of regenerative capitalism is called the right relationship. So, what businesses and governments alike need to know is that the continuation of life has to be held sacred, and it has to be put before everything else in terms of making a profit. The next element is known as innovative and adaptive response. So what this means is that in order to keep going, we really have to focus on the human being's innate ability to innovate and respond quickly to things that happen in the market. Next, we have wealth viewed holistically. And what this means is that true wealth is defined by the well-being of the whole. We have to stop looking at the GDP or economic numbers as defining the overall well-being of the country and start looking at rates such as overall happiness or things like that to define the overall well-being of the whole. Next, we have empowered participation. So what this means is that financial wealth is equitably distributed as opposed to equally distributed. And this goes back to our wealth yield holistically. We need to distribute the wealth in a way that maximizes the holistic well-being of the country or the world instead of in terms of what generates the most cash for a certain number of people in a country. Then we have a robust circular flow, and that's the continual striving to minimize energy in all phases of production. So this can't be a one-time change to the system. The system has to always be circulating and trying to find the next way to reduce costs and reduce environmental impact. This has to be a cyclical thing. You have to always be looking for the next way to minimize energy, the next way to make things more green. The next element is called the edge effect abundance. So what this means is a creative collaboration generates higher value-adding wealth creation. So it's just recognizing that when different organizations, including governments and businesses, start working together, the amount of overall value that can be created is much higher than everyone working separately. Another element of this system is that it seeks balance. So you need to look at the long-run ability to learn and grow stronger and more adaptable. Everything should be seen as long-term. You can't look for the short-term bonuses, the short-term profits. It all has to be seen to balance out. And finally, we have honors community and place. This element of regenerative capitalism makes sure that it's always operating to nurture a healthy, stable community and religious groups. So to go along with those, there are also 8 elements of regenerative finance, but I won't go through those in this video. They're in the briefing notes. Instead, what I want to talk to you about is some real-world examples where this has really benefited the world around us. Now, Walmart has a global supply chain of 60 to 90,000 companies. And when they started their carbon disclosure project, they asked all those companies to start measuring their carbon footprint. That did more to drive sustainability into even small companies than government regulation was able to do in 3 years. So we've seen how much better our society is off when these companies can work together to combine their efforts for a brighter future for everyone. The key is going to be convincing these companies that there is an economic advantage and it will lead to a solid competitive advantage. I hope you enjoyed my seminar. That's all the time I have. I hope this helps you study for the final. Good luck.